Good morning. I am up and doing a recap, kind of a commentary on where we're at and making coffee. I'm just waking up this morning. Where are we? So we officially moved out of step 3. It didn't take long. We are in step 4. And they started there. And this is where, good morning, Miss B. This is where the mirror has been turned on themselves. Step 4 in the process. Step 3 really was sitting with this is what it's taken to survive and really honoring that. This process really is about not bringing judgment up, not judging yourself, just collect the information about our situations and how they have hurt us in some way, caused us pain, caused us grief, sadness, anger, disappointment, trauma. And it's really honoring that step 3 was. Step 3 had them take their step 2 information and take that information and then look at their responses. What did you do to survive these situations? What'd you do? How did you survive? And we don't do any judgment at this point, no analysis. It's simply stating the facts. We're still collecting the facts. Good morning, Latisse. Both of you, good morning. Thanks for joining. And so we look at what's happened, but we take from that, and what did I do to survive? And step 3 really is sitting with that. And that's heavy. Both of them talked about heaviness. We just said, I'm in the bed. I'm in the bed. I'm physically tired. And we talked about that. We don't talk about energy. We don't talk about our energy and how much energy we spend. I call it life currency. Life currency. Every inhale, exhale. Energy spent. What did I spend that energy on? What did I spend that energy on? And so this work is about healing, but deep healing takes energy. It takes energy to sit with strong emotions. It's like, if you ever, been worked up, been angry, been in a tizzy, and then you get done, you have that moment, whatever it may be, and then you're tired, you need a nap. And part of this work is taking a lot of energy to carry this stuff. But it's also recognizing that it's taken a lot of energy to carry this stuff through life. I'm going to sit while my coffee perks. Life has taken so much energy. Why am I so tired? Because you've been doing life, and life has taken so much energy. You've been carrying these heavy burdens, the sadness, the grief, the sorrow. You've been carrying it. It's chilly today. This is wintertime, and today is one of those rare chilly days. I woke up and it's chilly and it's foggy outside. The fog is has come all the way down the mountain right above the houses. So I like it. I like seeing this fog, but this is uncommon. So I got my blanket this morning. But the weight of carrying this stuff through life. I told a friend that was visiting, Jackie, I said, have you ever been whole life exhausted? She said, what does that mean, LaRahna? What does that mean? I said, you don't know what that means? Everything about life is exhausted. I'm tired in every area of my life. I need more than a nap. I need a whole reset. And I did. In retirement, I told myself, you will take a year and rest, regroup, revision, because you was living life hard. United States living was hard, so much harder than it is now. And I was whole life exhausted, but at various points in my life, carrying that, pretending, wearing those masks, living in a way that others think you should. And it's There's no should. There's no should. We make some of that stuff up. And so sitting with step 3 was heavy, was heavy, was heavy. Here's what I've done to survive. Here's what I did. Here's the behaviors. Here's the thoughts that we're spinning. That we're going to work on the cleanup part, but part of it is sitting with that, getting honest with that too is who I have been. That too is a part of me. Honoring it. And then choosing, like, I don't want to spend this energy of my life anymore carrying around this stuff. I don't want to. It's too heavy. Do I want to wake up feeling disgusted, feeling angry, feeling all these emotions? And so step 3, it's not a very difficult one. It didn't take long to do, but sitting with that is heavy. And if you're following their social media, they talked about that heaviness. And we've been carrying stuff. We've been feeling the guilt, been feeling these emotions, but it's just heavy. And so part of this intensive sabbatical is about rest. In the month long, especially with the Gangsta Grannies, the Work Exchange Initiative, they were tasked with refueling their tank. When visitors come on the Healing Vacation Retreat, I do some of that for them. Some of the excursions, the things that add excitement and joy back into your life. But in this work exchange, part of that responsibility has been with the women to understand what your tank is like. Is your tank full? Have you fueled your tank today to go back in and do this work? And so it's looked differently for them in this month. Each of them getting to feel their needs in ways that feel good to them. They've napped, but they've also sat by the river. Sound, motion. They've gone and sat under a tree, sat on the grass, put their feet on the ground, connected with the earth in a way that the earth can recharge you. One of them commented to me on one of their walks in the park. They saw an old man out there hugging the tree. And I said, every now and then I see that. They sit out and watch what's happening in the park in front of me. They go to the store that used to be right next door, but now has moved a half a block down the street. But nonetheless, they go to the store and buy ice cream cones or snacks for change. They plan celebrations. I think Friday is a celebration day. I think they got ice cream definitely on the plans, and I've told them I want to be in on any ice cream part of the celebration. But they're going to, I think, the Sombrero Museum. They're going to see Homero Ortega and look at the Toquilla straw hats. I try my best not to call them Panama hats because they're not. That was a name that had been given to the hats erroneously. One of those masks. And lo and behold, I get to Ecuador and those hats are made here by cottage industry, made by hand by the men and women of this community. And so they're going to do those things to fuel their tank. We've been to the spa. It's one of my favorite places. It's one of the things I do to help refuel my tank, make sure that I'm moving slow enough in life, make sure that I have opportunities where people serve me. And I can just be my own first and only focus. Someone gives me my bathrobe. Someone serves me. Someone brings me some juice, brings me some lunch or some breakfast or some snacks. That I'm infused in the minerals of the mountains, the gold, the silver, the quartz, the zinc, the copper. And that I'm able to make sure that I don't run my tank empty and lock up my engine, lock it up, because I've lived that life before. And so as they have felt the heaviness, they have been tasked with making sure that they are filling their tank. Food is one of the other ways that I've worked in that space. I retired as a farmer running a farm-to-table restaurant, and food for me just feels good on every level. It feels good. It feels good. On every level, it feels good. And so they've had access to nourishing food. And sometimes there's something that they want and it's not here, and they've taken themselves to the store. I came back from the store on where you guys been? On a snack run. Okay, they've been all the way to the store. And that too is part of, let me get closer. That too is part of filling their tank, because this work is taking energy out of them. It's taking energy to hold those feelings until they're gone. And so we honor that regularly. But now, after really looking at what it has taken for me to survive, we go a little bit deeper. And so step 4 started yesterday. And in step 4, they're looking at those behaviors. Mirror to myself. What did I do? What did I say? How did I behave? And we're looking at what the values are associated with that. Part of this will give us the information to determine whether or not we conflicted with our own values. Did I conflict with my value? Because in this methodology, trauma is created whenever my values are conflicted. It doesn't matter who does it. We don't sit around and blame. Well, you did it, I did it. No, we identify that. But if I violated my values, if I lived out of alignment with my values, I created trauma in my life. And sometimes that too is heavy. Even with no judgment, to see, observation, to see how we have spent our life currency, especially when we see that the way we spent our life currency actually was responsible for creating some of the trauma in our life. That too is heavy. It's true. It's real. We got to go there if we want to get done with this. We resolve this trauma that we're working through. But that too is heavy. And then we don't stop there. We don't stop there. We say, what are the values? And were these values conflicted? Did I really believe that? I didn't speak up. I didn't believe that. I wanted to say something. I just did not feel empowered to do it. Or it may be that I hid. Because sometimes we find values that do align. And my value might have been to survive. And hiding was an appropriate strategy for survival. Value not conflicted. So this part of the process looks at that. What are the values associated with my behavior? And then what did it cost me? What are the losses? What did I lose by not speaking up? What did I lose by not having my voice? What did I lose by running away, about hiding, about pushing people away, about my hyper independence? No, I really wanted support. I just didn't want to be let down. I am worthy of being supported. Yeah, but I did it all on my own because couldn't nobody help me. Nobody would help me, and so I did it alone. Ooh, confliction. I didn't ask for help. Nobody knew I needed help. I didn't ask. They thought I was okay because I was playing that costume, playing that role of hyper independence, so they didn't think I needed nothing. And even if they did ask, I said, never mind, I got it. But is that the truth? No, I wanted to be supported. Ooh, my behavior caused a confliction there. What did that cost me? Ooh, exhaustion. Exhaustion. Cost you exhaustion. And they're going through and counting the losses. Sometimes, we talked about this a couple days ago, honoring your values also has losses, and we count that too. Shared about one of the ladies saying, I did the thing that aligned with my values, but I felt guilty. Yep. What did it cost you? What do you mean, what did it cost me? What did it cost you? Comfort. It cost me the comfort of those old places, the old ways of being, the old ways of doing. That was comfortable to me, and that just felt natural. This feels uncomfortable. And I said, you haven't practiced it. It's uncomfortable because you haven't practiced it. What happens when you start exercising? What happens when you start yoga? What happens when you start new things? You're not good at it till you practice it. If you haven't been doing those things that were loving to yourself or those things that aligned best with your values, and you start doing it, there is a cost. I felt uncomfortable. If I start setting boundaries differently, might I lose these relationships in the way that I've known them? The reality is maybe. You don't control other people. That's the reality. The reality is it could cost you relationships. Your refusal to operate in old ways could cost you relationships. But that aligns with my values. There's a cost. Count that cost too. They shared, this might make me feel lonely. If you're healing and no one else is, and you set new non-negotiables, there could be that reality. You make a non-negotiable for your life and how you want to deal with people, and they may not agree. And that may change the dynamics. Would you like to continue the behavior that traumatizes you? Absolutely not. But there's still losses. Some of the initial losses are, you're going to lose your comfort. If you want to be comfortable, if you got a value that says, I have to be comfortable, healing might not be as effective for you. Because doing what aligns with your values sometimes is uncomfortable. But they're going to be asking to look at their behaviors and look at the loss. What did it cost you? And so step 4 will take us a few days. We'll be working a few days through step 4. I told them we're kind of like going down the mountain, but not really, not really. We are still going around and around this mountain, getting closer and closer to the center. There's that picture that if you look at it flat, it just looks like circles. But if you hold it up, you realize you're getting closer and closer to the center. And that's what this work is. We're not off the mountain yet, but we are getting closer to the center, closer to a resolution. But first, we collect the facts. And the facts include what this cost me personally. What did my behavior cost me? It's one thing when we deal with other people. Step 2, what did your behavior do that conflicted with my values? Where was trauma created that you were a part of creating? But step 4 is all me. Where did I create the trauma in my life? Because this is about being honest. This is about being honest. If I'm being honest, I'm part of my problem. And I'm part of my problem that I have chosen to be in control of, so that I can stop being my problem. I can stop being the traumatizer in my own life. Other people, I learn boundaries for. I learn boundaries for other people. But for me, I'm in control of my life, not my emotions, not my ego. And it's about reclaiming that authority in our lives. My emotions aren't in control of my life. I am. My values are. My values are in control. If my values are sustainable and they are in control of my life, my behaviors, my actions, my thoughts, we get better. I get better. We as community gets better, because if I fix me, I'm fixing the whole world. I'm fixing whatever ripple effect my fixing has with the world. And it's not fixing the truth of who I am. This is really an uncovering. I'm going to practice using that word differently, Because this isn't fixing you, the truth of who you are. It's just underneath all that mud that life has slung on you. It's underneath that. This really is uncovering, taking the parts off of you that are fake, that are costumes, that are not real. You don't want to do life alone. You don't want to do life where you feel bad. You want to be supported. You want to be encouraged. You want to be uplifted. You want to be able to be yourself when you show up and not have to pretend that you're something else, because that takes energy, way more energy. You want people who are accepting of you, people that let you be you, let you move at your pace. A life that lets you do that. That's the truth oftentimes up under us. We want to be loved and cared for. And sometimes we want that from people who don't have the capacity to give it. There's nothing wrong with wanting it. It's when you want to dictate it. There's nothing wrong with wanting it if you're able to accept the emotions. Good morning, Tracy, the Wanderlust Souls. There's nothing wrong with wanting it. We get twisted up because we can't sit with the emotions of disappointment. Because when you realize I can want it and they're not obligated to give it, both of those happen at the same time. And you can handle sitting with emotions. Oh, I'm disappointed. Aren't you disappointed when you don't get what you want? But it doesn't traumatize me because they ain't obligated to give it to me. Community works that way. Goodwill. I can want anything I desire. But there's some other values. You ain't obligated to give to me. I'm not obligated. I'm not irresponsible for dictating your behavior. But if I'm taking care of me, if our values don't align, I understand that's going to cause trauma, perhaps in some areas. And if I'm healing, I have the capacity to decide which boundaries to set because I've counted the cost. I want you to support me, and your behavior, nothing about your behavior shows me that you've ever had the capacity to support me. What's wrong with me to keep getting twisted when you are who I've seen you be? Something wrong with me if I keep wanting you to support me. Have they ever supported you? No, as a matter of fact. And it's okay for you to want them to support you, but they've never shown you that they are the kind of person to give support when they see needs for you specifically. That's the fact. So if you continue to want them to be something they've shown you not to be, the problem is with you, not them. Ooh, I mean, I got to look at the mirror on myself. I got to look and see what's wrong with me. Yes, if you want healing, or you can spend your life thinking as other people. Sometimes it is. Now, sometimes trauma is created by other people, but who didn't set boundaries? This is grown-up talk. This is not you're a child and you're in a position, because that's a different set of expectations. You should have expected to be safe and nurtured and loved and cared for and guided as a child. Those are my values. But you may have some similar. But as an adult, grown up, the ladies that are here, these grown women, this initiative required you to be at least 50 years old to be a grandmother to somebody. 2 generations have come through you. Now, bag ladies, the stuff we're carrying, you choose now. Choice is relative because sometimes you don't know there's answers. Sometimes you don't know there's a way out, but are you determined to find it? It's your do or die trying. I'm not going to continue to be this way. Commitment, because that's where these ladies started, commitment. When it's uncomfortable to do the thing that in my mind, logically, when I'm not reaching for these behavioral drugs of choice, when I'm not feeding and coddling my ego, when I'm really getting honest with myself. Do I want healing? And it's not so much that, because we talk about that every day. A lot of people want healing and don't want to do the work. In American society, give me just a pill. Give me some ayahuasca. Give me some San Pedro. Give me some psychedelics. Let me just get a quick pill, and I want to be all better in the morning. Healing requires you not only to want the healing, but you got to commit to doing the work. No matter how hard it is looking at myself in the mirror, I got to do it because I can't keep living that dysfunctional life on that hamster wheel. No more. I've shared with the ladies, if you don't come with that kind of commitment, this intensive ain't for you. It ain't for you. Don't come for the month long. Come for the week long. Get a little bit of exposure with some activities, fabulous activities, world-class spa, really good food, uh, and randomness, random fireworks that just happened because it's Quaker, Ecuador. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen? We got a holiday coming up, and I told them, parade, fireworks, who knows what's going to happen. Got another Ecuador Independence Day. We celebrate Independence Day about 2-3 times down here. Cuenca Independence Day. We celebrate Guayaquil Independence Day. We celebrate, Ecuador Independence Day. And any of them is likely to have some celebratory actions going on, but it'll be a random Tuesday, and they got celebratory fireworks. The ladies, since they've been here, saw the fireworks, and I was asleep, and I missed it. I was very distraught about missing it because I'd be around my house trying to see which window the fireworks are out of because they're big sprinkling fireworks sometimes. But this month-long intensive ain't for you if you ain't committed to healing. I don't need you coming down here and worry me and worry yourself. If you don't want to be uncomfortable with yourself, looking at your stuff, honestly, this ain't for you. These ladies have had to come and be willing to be honest. And resistance shows up in a lot of ways if you're not ready to do deep healing work. So it's not just wanting healing. You got to be willing to do work to get it. The quote that we use is by Maya Angelou. We end each healing circle with that. We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but seldom do we admit the changes it's had to go through to achieve that beauty. The second part is the part. I got a quilt on my wall. I don't know if you can see that. It was gifted to me by an interesting lady. I meet such interesting people in my life. But it's about butterflies. It's about transformation. It's got a poem embroidered on it. But I've actually talked with her and about the symbolism that she's built into this quilt. Quilting is one of her languages. And we see butterflies and they're beautiful. But there's a death that had to happen. They had to give up their old way of being drastically. Caterpillar don't look nothing like a butterfly. Nothing in common. The image of the butterfly is only achieved when you die to the image of that caterpillar, slinking through life, not able to soar, thrive. And so it's doing the work. It's going through the process to get to the other side. It's holding these emotions because if you do, you know you can. You know that you can hold on to these strong emotions when you've done it. You know that you can speak your truth when you've practiced it. Yes, it costs something. It's going to cost some comfort. It may cost relationships. It's going to cost change. And that's what they're sitting with. And that can be heavy. But that's getting to a greater freedom in your life. I'm not going to be a slave to the damage that's happened in my life. I don't care who caused it, me or others. I'm not going to be a slave to it anymore. I'm not going to continue to pay the debt for the damaged parts. Some of them were my damaged parts. Okay, it was me. I'm going to stop paying for this now. I'm going to close this account. I'm not going to continue this just because it's been my habit. But it's hard to change. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm working on drinking water. 4-year-old issues. Work on your stuff as you need to. That's what I'm working on in my life. I'm trying to repair some of the areas that my unhealed living has caused. Drinking the water. It ain't natural to me. I ain't thirsty. You drink water when you're thirsty. I'm not thirsty. But as I begin to do it more and more by behavior modification, I got all kind of tactics for how I get my water in. I'm recognizing thirst again. Oh, I'm thirsty. I ain't never said that. Decades. I never said that. Would you drink today? Coffee, that counts. Water's in it. I saw it go in. But it's not familiar yet. But it's getting better. Start exercising. I had an injury this year. And when I do a little more walking, ooh, a little painful. Haven't worked itself out. When I start exercising, ooh, my body hurts. But do you want the results? I had to talk to myself. What are the results you really want? Is it about that scale? Because there's a whole lot of things you could do if it's just about that scale. No, I want to be able to do the activities in life that are meaningful to me. I don't want my body to stand in the way of me wanting to do something and I can't do it because my body won't let me. There's some things right now that my body might not let me. We went up to Pachamama Hill. I didn't hike up the rough side of the mountain. I have before. But with this injury on my foot, I said, I don't think that's wise yet. It's an Achilles tendon injury. I think that might not be wise. My body stopped me from doing what I would have done. Now, nobody may have gone with me because they may have been tired. But the hiking route lets you walk along the original Incan Trail, the stones of the Incan Trail. It's a whole experience just to be able to know that I have done that. These Incan walked over these mountains to this spot specifically to hold ceremony. When we went to the museum, they could see that this spot was intentionally on this map, this visual map for them. These high spots that they look down into this low spot in the valley. But this is about doing the work, and the ladies are doing it, and we are honoring it. We are honoring the work that they're doing. Because unfortunately, I don't see another way for transformation to happen if you don't do this work of healing. You can pretend. But how's that working for you? How heavy is that? Think of the ways that you pretend. Women understand it a whole lot easier. Take it all off. Take the hair, take the nails, take the eyelashes, take the wigs, take the weave, take the girdles and the weight trainers, take the bra, take all of it, take it off. Who are you? Stand in the mirror. I know, like real life assignment. Stand in the mirror and listen and see if there's criticism. See if there's some of those tapes that you've picked up from other people that weren't loving at their full capacity. And some of those other people might be you. Look in the mirror. What do you see? Is it love? Is it judgment? What would happen if you showed up in life as you are? If you didn't code switch when you got to certain places, if you didn't pretend when you got to that job, pretended that you wanted to be there, what happens if you really, what would life look like if you really got honest? How would you choose to spend your life currency if you were being honest? And then what would it take to make that transformation in your life? And if you can identify with that, that's the choices that these ladies are making every day. I have to sit here and look at me and decide which parts are not true. And then have the courage to say these parts that are not true, I'm going to release. I'm going to release. And it's going to be painful. But what happens when you cut those things from your life? You untether yourself and life gets freer. The energy that you were spending pushing these boulders up, your load gets lighter and you can fill that space with new joy. And that's what the ladies are beginning to see as they cut some of those boulders loose. That you hear the past couple of days talk about being energized. Life comes back in you. And that's what it's about. What would happen if your life was re-energized? If you got on with being the true you, living in love? What would happen if you stopped living the lies that you live in your life? More and more. Poco a poco. Healing is about a starting point. It says if we do the healing, we create new starting points in our life. Starting points of freedom. I am freer to be who I am. I'm freer to operate in the ways that I would. And when I see how I operate as I'm healing, I'm operating more and more in love. First to me, my first responsibility. I am operating in love to me. I'm the part of divinity that I am mandated to care for, mandated to love. If we're supposed to be a reflection of the divine, here on purpose, if I'm that reflection of the divine, loving me is the mandate. That's the gospel message part of it. Loving others is the other part, but it says first I got to love me so that I know how to love others without strings attached. And this work is helping us get there. Gain clarity about who we are, the truth of who we are, the truth of what we've had to do to survive, and we've counted the cost of what that has cost us to do that. For me in my life, counting that cost helped me establish some boundaries, and some of them are non-negotiable. I ain't going there with you. That kind of damage of me not speaking my truth is too painful. It's too heavy. The healing was too hard. I ain't going back there. And you can go there if you want to. I'm not going to control you, but I'm not going there with you. So some of my boundaries are because I have counted the cost. Some of the things in life, some of the people in life may be traumatizing. Am I willing to accept the cost? Sometimes the answer is yes. I am willing to be absolutely ignorant and fool with my grandson trying to get these pictures up on the phone. I'm willing to do that. I'll take that ignorance card and try to get myself together before he called back this morning. I'm getting there because this week, which is a whole hilarity, we're still on monster trucks, but he has figured out on his mother's phone how to put the background on. And he surprised me with it. Get you some pictures. I don't know how. Wait a minute. Let me figure it out. That is not an acceptable answer. Let me figure it out. So I did. And yesterday, I did sometimes. Sometimes I can figure it out. Sometimes I can't. Yesterday, the first picture I put up was some flowers I put up the other day. And I said, do you like them? And he said, no. No, just as dry as can be because he's my child. No. So I flipped through my pictures again, the ones I knew how to get to, and I had a picture of some flats of eggs and cheese that had gotten delivered earlier this week. I put that up, and he said, ooh, I like your eggs. I like them. He made sure that before he got off that call, I had to send them to his mama so he could put them up on his phone. Put them on my phone. I said, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I have to send the message to your mom, and I can't do that now because she's driving. You can't have her worrying about your pictures while she's driving. So I made sure that I sent his mother that picture so he can put eggs up in his background too. He's been putting up astronauts out of space and the dragons and underwater. We've been underwater on there, but he wanted them eggs in his background like his grandma blanket. And of course, his grandma blanket obliged. But being able to admit that I'm ignorant about some stuff. Did it hit your ego? Yeah. I got this little 3-year-old running circles around. This little 3-year-old that could barely put a sentence together 6 months ago. And now he's working my nerves, having me figure out stuff that I don't know how to figure out. He's going to keep me young so that I learn how to do this technology and don't be that kind of person. I'm willing to take that hit to my ego. How dare he know how to do this stuff? I'm grown and this little boy teaching me some stuff. Do you want to put your ego aside? I'm putting my ego aside. Teach me, baby, so that I don't get left behind. Let me see if I can put my pictures up. Put my pictures in my background too, so that you can see that I got some skills too, and we can laugh together. And he sit there and he just laughed, and I just laugh. But in life, there's some damage that I'm not willing to take on. There's some grace that I'm not willing to extend. There's some trauma I ain't willing to add up at all. I'm going to just close the gate and put a lock on it. Access denied because my life's important. My life currency is important. And just like my life currency, just like my money in my bank, you can't tell me how to spend my money. If you're not paying these bills, you're not taking care of these financial responsibilities like maintaining my retirement, you cannot go spend my money. I treat my life currency even more important than that. I got hopefully more life currency than money. Well, I want it to kind of balance out, when you got enough money to get to the month. I want to have enough money to get to the end of life and still be free. But I don't let folks spend my emotional currency anymore either, because folks will spend my money and then go spend their own money, their own life currency. You done blown through my currency. I'm the one doing the emotional work for you, so you don't have to. I'm exhausted, broke down, feeling dejected. Why? No, I take it seriously. My life currency, I get to decide how to spend it. And I'm going to be doing it more mindfully. I'm going to do it more mindfully now because I know the cost. LaRahna, will you? Maybe. Let me see what that's going to cost me. I'm supposed to be speaking in a week or so. It's on my calendar. My calendar tells me what I've committed to sometimes if I get to the calendar. And they want me to come to the United States. I said, absolutely not. It ain't important enough for me. Some volunteer work, it is not important enough for me to get on a plane, take the time it takes to come. Well, can you do it on video? I sure can. That I got the energy to do. I'm willing to put energy into that. But we'd love to see you. I'm okay with that. Are you coming? Absolutely not. She told someone else is organizing. She ain't coming. She ain't coming. We got to put her on video. Everybody else is coming, but she ain't coming. I meant that. My life currency, my responsibility. I got to budget how I want to budget it. And I budgeted on things that I'm passionate about, things that feel like my purpose, things that give me joy. It ain't got to make sense to nobody. I got 6 hula hoops sitting in the corner in my house. I was willing to spend my life currency to go to the supermercado, a place that I don't like to go to. The trip had some redeeming value because I came home with some hula hoops that don't work. They're children's hula hoops, I think. They're too small to work on these big hips. But I made it work. I make it work. Make it work. But part of this is choosing the life you want, and that is freedom. Am I choosing to be who I decide I'm going to be? Am I choosing to live life in accordance with what's important to me? And sometimes we got to cut the strings on these boulders that's weighing us down. That's real. That's real. We got to unpack those bags and quit carrying them around with our raggediness. One of the January cohort talked about these bags, these bag lady bags that Erykah Badu talks about. Said ain't nothing but garbage and raggedy draws anyway. Let it go. Let it go. Dragging around our raggediness and protecting it. Let it go. I don't know about you guys, but I know I can look back in my life and it was a whole lot of raggedness. It was me. It was me. It was other people too. But it was me. I was raggedy. I was raggedy in the way that I was behaving and thinking. I look back at 20s. Somebody said, would you go back to 20? Absolutely not. I was too ignorant and raggedy. I don't care what it looked like on the outside. Successful business owners, fastest growing franchise owner, and I don't care what they said. It was raggedy. I knew it. And you probably do too. You know your raggediness. And so it's really whether or not you're ready to unpack those bags. And that's work. It's heavy. It's exhausting. But I've been exhausted before. It didn't lead me to no freedom. It did not lead me to freedom. It led me to more exhaustion. This kind of exhaustion is leading to freedom, liberation, love, clarity. There's that meme that says, life either way is hard. Pick your hard. I pick the hard that's going to lead me to more freedom. That's why I heal. If life got to be hard, I'd rather it get me freedom in the end. Greater and greater, poco a poco. Freedom to be me. Ecuador has given me greater freedom, greater economic freedom, greater time freedom to be me. I move at my pace. I wake up and say, how am I going to move today? When I get done with this thing, I think I'm going back to bed. We don't have group till 10:30 this morning. I'm going to get back up into bed. That's what I'm going to do. Got my coffee. I might get a snack. I still some bananas. We got some cantaloupe that we got to eat up today. I went to the market yesterday. I might go eat my breakfast number 1 in my bed. But having life that can move at that pace is freedom. Being able to live that life, regardless of what others say I should be doing, how I should be living, is freedom. And that's what the ladies are here to get. A little more freedom. Global Underground Railroad. I mean that literally. If we go into the new paradigm, let's get freedom. Let's get some rest. Let's get some equipping. Let's get true freedom so that we can live a different way. The world is changing. I want to be a part of that change. I want a world where living my truth is supported and honored. I want a world where my truth, the lived truth, is the true me, the loving me. If I'm a reflection of God, then I should be loved too. More and more in my life, I want my life to look like that. So that's where they're going today. They're going to be doing some digging for the next couple of days. What did I do? What did I do to survive? And now let me look and see if any of the things I did to survive truly conflicted with my values and created trauma as well. What did it cost me? And so that's where we are. That's where we are. We're going to do a little celebration. I think we're going out for jazz and tapas tonight. Esteban. We're going to be big spending at the Farm to Table restaurant. They said the cover is $3.50. I said, the tapas is like $2.50 or $3 a piece. Yeah, we're going to be big spending tonight. But we're going to celebrate, I think, tomorrow. I think there's going to be ice cream in the celebration. But we're doing the work. We do our work first, then we go play. So, yeah, that's my commentary. That's where we're going. Winding around this mountain, coming down to the end. The ladies will be leaving out on the 15th and the 17th. So we got just a little over a week left as we wind this down. About a week left. A week left in the process. We'll finish up on the 15th. Today's the 7th. So we've got just over a week left in the process. We're on step 4B. We've got one more step to go. So I'm grateful for witnessing the transformation. Thanks for letting me share the commentary. This is kind of my random real-time commentary just to remind myself of what's happening in our progress, things that are important. Commitment, freedom, doing the work. This was swirling in my mind this morning. So thanks for letting me share. If you haven't found the ladies, www.gangstagranniesglobal.com. If you want more information about the International Welcome Center, globalundergroundrailroad.com. Put them in the chat, globalundergroundrailroad.com. Information about the Healing Vacation Retreat or the intensives, other training as well. We have a Soul Safari, a healing vacation retreat that's on the calendar, going to be happening in Kitale, Kenya, where we do the same thing. Just got some different excursions and some cultural exchange with the leaders from Africa that'll be healing together with us. And if you want more information about the bigger picture, nowastetime.com is the website for our collaborative page. You also can go there, find some of the articles in the Village Builders magazine. You can find some free resources that link you to the books, the social tech books that are available that include the training. You can find free videos. We want you to get healing, so get started. Go to the video link on there under free resources. There's a whole playlist, about 8 or 9 different videos. They all are teaching the tools. Buy the book. Go buy the book online or go buy it on Amazon and use the videos and get started on healing or not, by choice. But those resources are there for you. Reach out to us, friends at nowastetime.com. That's how you can reach us. Send a message. You can go online. You can send an inquiry request. But definitely heal together. Heal by any means necessary. It's so much easier if we do it together. Reach out, Tracy. Definitely check out the website, social media. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. You can find No Waste of Time on TikTok, but I don't use it that much. But there's information on how to reach out and contact us. So reach out. If this is not the method that you connect with, heal however you need to. There's no judgment. Every step in the right direction is progress. I don't care how fast, how slow you're going, it's progress, and that counts. So, yeah, that's what's going on in my life. Come to Kenya with us if you'd like to. I'm excited about that. Want to get those spots filled? It helps us with underwriting the cost for our African leaders to attend. So, yeah, that's what I've got. Support the Gangsta Grannies. Go find their Instagram pages, Danielle Brooks and Weta Patton on Instagram. They're both on Facebook as well. Danielle Brooks also has a YouTube, so sometimes some of the stuff she's putting on YouTube, but go find them, go support them. We support everything else. Go support healing. Go support healing. Strong suggestion. All right, that's it. Thanks for letting me ramble off this morning. What's on my heart? And I'm gonna go drink my coffee, get my snack, and probably go back and get into bed, take a little nap till healing circle at 10:30 this morning. It's 7:30 here, so it's earlier in the morning. Sun has come up, and I'm gonna slowly get my day going because that's what I want to do, and feeling empowered to do what I want to do this morning. Thanks for letting me share. Live life fully today. Bye.